Something that I've realized in this past year, and it wasn't even until like maybe like a couple months ago that I realized is that I have forgotten how consistent I've become with doing this. And it's not even scary for me. It, in a way it is, but it's not. But I've become so consistent that I forgot how consistent I've become. Like I've been posting videos on my Instagram for literally over a year now. Like I would argue over 2 years. Every single day, consistently. And I haven't even made over 1,000 followers. Like I'm still at like 580 followers. Now, for some, people would be like so irritated and aggravated and probably would have given up within like the first 90 days. But I'm on day like, from when I started counting, 370. But I know for an absolute fact it's easily been over 2 years because I started in April of 23 and been posting every single day. I haven't missed a day. But that was in terms of like, I started doing more stories in the beginning. I wasn't really posting. And then when I started posting, I started tracking them. So I would easily argue it's been over 2 years. I haven't made any progress. None. Well, at least number wise. You can't really see anything. And it doesn't scare me, but it does bring me to the question, like, what am I doing wrong? Like something needs to change, and it needs to change now, right? Because most of the time when someone does something for a long time, especially in this day and age, like people are so focused on the views, the likes, the follows. Like me, at this point, I just care about the quality. Like I went that route of trying to focus on like blowing up, and like at this point, it's like, does it even matter if it's not good quality? Like if you have 100 bananas, but they're all not ripe, they're all brown, like black. Is it even worth saying you have 100 bananas? You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to get at is like, I legit forgot how consistent I've been. I've been doing this for over 2 years, no progress. Not a bit. And it doesn't really irritate me as much as it used to. Like I used to get so frustrated. Like, yo, what the am I doing? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I would consistently tell myself, like, I'm doing something wrong. Something is wrong. I'm not doing something right. And I still do a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, 2 years and only 500 followers. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like, clearly something's wrong. And but it amazes me how like I've been doing this for 2 years, and even though I haven't made the progress that I wanted to make, I'm still going. Like it's not even like a negotiable thing for me. Like there is no reason why I need to quit. Like I don't have a reason. What I Matter of fact, let me take that back. I have every reason to quit. I have every reason to quit. But why would I just let all that time go to waste? Like why let that time go to waste? You know? And I'm before I was about to start this video, I was actually asking myself, like, yo, how did I forget about how consistent I've become? Like how have I been able to do this for as long as I have, and even though I haven't made the progress I've made, and even though it was stupid frustrating and I had every reason to quit, why did I just keep going? Like why and how was I able to keep going without letting the outside factors of seeing other people's successes not be a benefactor of me to quit. And to be honest with you, the best answer I can give is the same feeling that you get when you brush your teeth. It sounds weird, but when you brush your teeth, you don't think and you don't compare your teeth to other people's white, like really white teeth. Because you're not focused on other people's teeth. You're just focused on your teeth. But you brush your teeth because you understand the importance of it. Right? You understand what the consequences are if you don't. You understand the value of behind doing it every single day. So you don't have to bear the burden of the consequences that come with not brushing your teeth. And you eventually just become so habitual with brushing your teeth that you almost forget that you're consistent with it. It's just like it's part of your life. Like this has literally become part of my life. Like I don't like it's a non-negotiable for me. Like at this point, I truly believe if you were to pay me $50,000 a month to keep doing this, most people would let certain things slide. Like literally for me, I am at the point now where it's just oh, today's Wednesday, I gotta shoot a video. Oh, Friday's in 2 days, gotta shoot another video. I can't explain it. It's the moment where it becomes when the value becomes so important to you that the consequence is not worth the the outcome, you won't even think. You won't even think about even like going that path. And I think that's what you got to get to. You have to get to a point to where to where you you got to do it and realize the consequence of you not doing it is going to be far worse than you just doing it in the first place. Like me like oh my gosh. Posting videos and making content isn't hard. It's not. Whatever excuse you have, like it's not hard. You understand? The person who made YouTube and Instagram, do you think it's harder to make a YouTube video and edit a YouTube video or to run and create YouTube? Like which one's harder? Pick your poison. And I think I've understood that if I don't, like this was my repercussion if I didn't post. My repercussion was if I don't post or if I don't make a video, the repercussion of that is me staying where I'm at in life. Is me not being able to get to where I want to be in life. Staying at my 9 to 7 job. That was the repercussion. If I don't do this, I will stay at my job. I will be trapped. I can't leave. I have to do this. Because if I don't, I'll never be able to leave. That's the burden. And I know with where I want to be at in my life, I don't want to bear that burden. I know where I want to be. I know where I want to go. And I know who I want to become. So I'm not going to miss one day. I don't want to have a cavity. I don't want to have to get my teeth filled. I don't want to have a silver tooth. So I'm not going to miss a day. You know the feeling of when you are you're about to go to bed, but you realize you didn't brush your teeth. And you're already in bed and you're laying there and you're just about to say, I'll do it in the morning. It's fine. But then something in you instinctively is like, bro, brush your frickin' teeth. That is gross. Brush your teeth. And you drag yourself. You're like, mother. And you get up out of bed. You go to the bathroom, get toothpaste, get toothbrush, and you brush your teeth. Even you know what's funny? Even if it's like shorter than 2 minutes, you're still gonna brush your teeth. Like you don't care if it's like 30 seconds or 45. You as long as you got it done, you got it done. And that's what will happen. You know, in the beginning it'll be kind of irritating because you're forcing yourself into a new habit that your brain is not used to. And you think that it is just a what can I say? How can I say this? You think it's just something on the side. Yeah. It's like it's a hobby. You're thinking of it as more like a hobby. Like, oh, okay, I'm doing this now, but you know, it's not forever. And then your brain starts playing tricks on you. Starts saying like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you still doing this? Like, this is clearly getting in your way of your basic routine. What is going on? Then eventually it's like, okay, if you don't stop, like something's about that. Something's not gonna go right. And then your brain finally wakes up and says, oh wait, this is the new routine. Okay. Let's get to it. And it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have times where you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna have times like, yo, what am I doing wrong? What what is holding me back? You know, because people will give up so quickly, especially in these days, if it's not given to them within the time frame in which they said it was going to be. You know, some people will quit a business. They will give up on a business, even though it was the perfect fit for them. They give up on it within like 3 months because they see everything online. These people just magically blowing up. This is what I'll tell you. Two things. If you don't get something in the time frame in which you wanted it, it's probably a good reason. It's probably a good reason. If you got it when you say you wanted it, it probably would have destroyed you. Probably would have killed you. If you give two people, for example, and they both are asking for $1 million, and one person has been asking for $1 million for years and has so much discipline and so much consistency and has so much faith and belief and just asking and asking and asking and has built up a certain mentality to one day obtain the $1 million. So when he does get it, he'll be able to grow it and withhold it. Then you have another person who has been asking for $1 million all their life. But it's really just wishful thinking. It's hopeful thinking. Not doing anything to get there. They're not changing. They're an alcoholic. Right? They're an alcoholic. They just drink, they go out, they party, they work, but when they're at work, they're just lazy. Now let's say both of these people get their wish. Now let's start with the second one. The second one, who's a drunk, lazy at work, and has a poor mindset and a poor outlook on life. Well, first thing this person is going to do is quit their job because they think $1 million is a lot of money. They're going to be able to survive it for years to come. What do they do next? They start buying depreciating assets. Not depreciating assets, but materialistic things. Cars, watch, nicer material things. Maybe a house, maybe even a boat. And eventually, 2 months go by. The $1 million is up. And they got to pay the bills for the house, the car, the boat. Maybe they didn't finance the watch. Who knows? And now they're in debt. Now he has to get a job. He has to go back to the old life he had. Then you have the first person. Now, the first man has been waiting for years. I knew this day would come. The $1 million hits his bank account. And he goes on the same road. Well, more or less. He quits his job, of course. He didn't want to be there to begin with. First thing he does is open up his business. He stays frugal. He plays smart. He doesn't try to throw a whole bunch of money in it to generate unauthentic revenue. But he grows the business, right? He has extra money. He doesn't buy anything crazy, but he does pay off some debt. And he now is focusing on building his business. He starts investing a little bit more in assets, so that way come tax season, he's not paying as much in taxes, so he can have that money to reinvest into the business. 2 months go by. He now tripled his income from $1 million to $3 million. And now he hasn't done anything crazy. Maybe he bought a nice watch. Maybe he bought a few new suits just for networking purposes. Maybe he's keeping the same car. Maybe he bought a newer car, but maybe more reliable. Nothing flashy. Maybe like a Lexus or something. And he stays consistent. And he never goes broke again. And 1 year later, he reaps the fruit of his labor, becoming a multi-million-dollar man and has a multi-million-dollar business. And he will never go back. So sometimes when we're given things right away, it can destroy us because we're not ready for it. And sometimes when we wait till the time is right, we wait on God's plan. Sometimes that was the better option to begin with. Because not only that, but the worst feeling to experience is to hope and pray and to wish for something that you've always wanted. And for it to be at the palm of your hands. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can even taste it. Just for it to be ripped away from you. That sucks. That's like asking for the perfect woman or perfect soulmate if you're a female watching this. And all of a sudden, you find the right one. But because you haven't developed yourself in any way, shape, or form, they pushed back away from you because they weren't your type. You were not their type. I said that backwards. You were not their type. So they pushed away from you. And if only you had developed maybe something within you, if you developed a better version of you, or if you stayed consistent, just maybe you would have held on to them and they would have held on to you, and you would have been able to put a rock on that finger. So, I think I'm going to conclude it there. But don't be afraid of time. Because sometimes the time and the lessons that are portrayed during that journey, in that frame, will probably help you and strengthen you to where you want to go It's almost as if it's the last analogy I'll give, and then I'm gonna cut it off. But it's almost like if you had, I can't remember what we'll call it a bow and arrow, a slingshot. There we go. Say you had a slingshot, but you didn't know how the slingshot worked. You just wanted to go forward. So the slingshot is here, yeah? Slingshot is here, and you're here, but you want to go that way, and your main focus is going that way, and you're completely missing the slingshot. It's right here, right? So each and every time you keep trying to go this way, not only are you not making as much progress as you want, but you're also being pushed back because you're only limited by a certain distance, right? Let's say there's a wall right here, and you want to see how far you can push that wall, but you can't push the wall. You can go over it. You can try to go around it, but the wall is too long. The only way to go further beyond the wall is by using the slingshot. So one day you decide to go towards the slingshot, right? You're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it, and it's getting really tough. But then for some reason you accidentally stop and you slam into the wall. Now it may have given you some pain in the moment, but you get an idea. So you try again. And you push 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 and you push. And the tightness is so tight that your legs are almost shaking. They're shaking and you're still going. But this time you make sure the rope is a little bit down and then you just let your legs go. And you go over the wall. And you go far, far further than you could ever expect, to the point where the wall is no longer in sight. So push against the slingshot. Push against the slingshot. Because pushing against that slingshot is going to give you more strength and give you more distance and clearance than you think.